What cool psychological tricks do you know? When you're walking through a crowded place and you see a wall of people coming at you, taking up the whole sidewalk, just stop, like dead in your tracks. They'll part around you and clear a path. It's kind of like Moses splitting the sea in two. Always give incompetent management two options. The one you want them to pick, and another one that's obviously terrible. Just don't make the trick too obvious. When I worked at a store, my boss taught me how to deal with customers who just won't leave. Start walking toward the exit while you answer their questions, and they'll naturally follow you. Open the door while you keep the conversation going. The person steps out, and you step out after them. Now you're both outside the store. Finally, just say, "Well, have a great day," and head back inside. When you don't feel like working out, tell yourself, "I'll just do something light." That helps me get started. And after that, I usually end up getting in a good, solid workout anyway. I talk myself into just getting to the gym. I let myself turn around and go home the moment I reach the locker room, or just sit and read a book or mess around on my phone, but I have to physically make it to the gym. Over the last 7 years, I can only remember one time I went home after reaching the locker room, and a few times I just walked on the treadmill reading a book. But mostly I get in at least a light workout, if not a full one. If you hand someone something during a conversation, they'll automatically take it. This happened to me once at work. My boss and I were talking about something, and she handed me a bag of paper slips. Since I was standing next to a trash can, I unconsciously threw the bag away. After that, she gave me a weird look and asked, "Why did you just throw out the papers with everyone's names for Secret Santa?" If you want to make someone uncomfortable, say some jerk. Then while you're talking to them, don't look them in the eyes. Look at their forehead. It slowly chips away at their confidence. They'll be so busy trying to figure out what you're doing that they'll stop messing with you. I love using subtle little tricks to get my coworkers to like each other more. Try telling a coworker that something they did was really cool, or that they have some great quality, and then add that X thinks so too. Then do the same with Y, saying that X said it. I know it sounds awful, but I love it when coworkers start treating each other more kindly and gradually become friendly. You have to be really patient and take your time. Keep it casual and easy so people are left with a positive impression of each other. At some point, it stops being a lie because people genuinely start saying nice things about each other. Here's a trick for one-on-one conversations, especially if you want to get a deep conversation going. Don't say anything. Ask the first question, let the person talk, and don't say anything back or interrupt, so they don't change the direction of the conversation. Most people feel awkward and fill the silence by continuing to talk. In some cases, you'll get a lot more out of it if you don't ask leading follow-up questions. That said, it doesn't work on hardcore introverts. They're perfectly comfortable in silence. Get someone to agree to a small request, and it significantly raises the odds they'll agree to something bigger. Get someone to do you a small favor, and you'll greatly increase the chances they'll think well of you. When someone throws an insult or some super smart aleck comment your way, pretend you didn't get it or didn't hear them. If they have to repeat it, it drains all the power out of what they said. Or when someone makes a sketchy joke at your expense that's really just an insult, ask them to explain what's funny about it. "Wait, I don't get it. Can you explain?" 9 times out of 10, the person will stop making those jokes because they'll feel awkward. Plus, if they try to explain the joke, it's even more cringe and just highlights that they acted like a jerk, especially if, after they explain, you say something like, "Oh, now I get it. That's not funny at all." When you can't choose between two things, flip a coin, but don't look at how it lands. Pick the one you feel should have won. This thing always works, at least for me. I do the same thing, but I do look at how it lands. If I feel any disappointment with the result, even a little, then I know what I actually want in the end. Not sure if this counts, but hands down the easiest way to improve your relationship with anyone, a spouse, a friend, family, is a surprise gift for no reason. If you're on the phone with someone and they just won't let you go, walk up to your own front door and ring the bell or knock. Then just say, "Oh, someone's here, I've got to go." Say goodbye and hang up. Works every time. And if you actually hear a knock at the door and don't want to deal with that person, put your shoes on. When you open the door, you can tell them you're about to head out, and they'll leave too. If you do want to talk to them, say you just got home. Stop talking. If you're negotiating with someone, even about something minor, and it's not going the way you want, just look at them and listen. They'll get to the point where they lay out their position and realize you're not happy with it. Let them sit uncomfortably in that silence so they start agreeing to a worse position for themselves. Works great with salespeople making less than great offers. Brush your teeth after dinner. For me personally, the hassle of having to brush again before bed is enough of a deterrent to avoid a midnight snack. If you're upset, smile. I think it triggers the motor neurons that control our mood, but I could be wrong. Either way, your brain reads certain actions as tied to states of mind. Tense muscles equal anxiety, a smile equals happiness, so it works in reverse too. You can relax your muscles to feel calm, and you can smile to shake off anger. Source: a teacher who smiled at a bunch of annoying kids. If you're talking and someone interrupts you, keep talking, but quieter. The person will start listening once you hit the perfect volume. If you need kids to do something or agree to something, tell them you're giving them a specific amount of time for it. If you're in a stressful situation and need to clear your mind, try reciting the alphabet backwards in your head. From my own experience, it helps shift your focus and calm down. I've done it so many times that I can say the alphabet backwards as fast as forwards, which seriously impresses my kids. Say thank you more often. If you want a particular person to do something for you, keep in mind that positive reinforcement works far more effectively than punishment. If you're having a hard time motivating yourself to do something, like learning a skill, an instrument, a language, and so on, tell yourself, okay, I'll sit down and do this for just 5 minutes. Most of the time you'll stay into it way longer than 5 minutes. But even if you don't, you still put in 5 minutes of practice on the thing you wanted to learn. Ask for a favor while someone is eating or has just eaten. Their lizard brain is happy that there's food in their stomach, so they're more agreeable. It works even better if you're the one who treated them to that food. So far, I've got a 100% success rate. Just don't use this trick too often or the person will catch on. Edit. Obviously, you can't just hand someone a pack of Skittles and say, "Can you help me move all my junk from my old apartment to the new one?" This trick works for small favors. I once read a great tip for dealing with customers. If someone calls you really upset about something and you downplay their pain, they won't feel heard, which only makes it worse. But if you play along, "Oh no, your internet was out for a whole 2 hours? How frustrating. I'm so sorry you had to go through that." The person will probably feel heard and respond more reasonably. They might even cool off their initial anger down to, well, it really wasn't that big a deal. People just want others to acknowledge the difficulties they're dealing with. Memorization works through repetition, and it's well known that writing things by hand helps with memory too. When I need to remember something really important, I write it out 3 to 5 times. This trick helped me a ton when I was taking acting classes. In one play, I performed 2 main characters, and both had 2 separate speeches, 3 pages each. I rewrote each speech several times, word for word, and by the second day of rehearsal, I knew all my lines. It's one of the best memorization methods I've ever learned. Highly recommend. If you lose something, then when you find it, put it back in the place where you first looked for it. I like to put things I can't forget on top of or inside items I'm definitely going to use that day. For example, I'll put my car keys or wallet inside the shoes I'm going to wear that day. That's an obvious example, but I can do the same with any tool or anything I need for a specific job that day. I also sometimes do absurd things that make no sense to remind myself to do something. For example, in the morning, I'll turn my coffee mug upside down to remind myself to grab my lunch from the fridge. Absurd, abnormal things are easier to remember. If you're dealing with an unreasonable person or customer who is dead set on causing a scene, but there's no physical threat to you, treat them like they're a mentally unwell person in an altered state of mind. What I mean is, don't take any of it personally, because none of it is your fault, even if the person tries to pin it on you. Try to figure out the real problem that's bothering them and help solve it within reason, or adjust their expectations if their request or demand is unreasonable. Don't return fire by mirroring their tone and aggression. Stay calm and focus on the real issues, not on the crazy behavior. Above all, stay friendly and as helpful as possible on any reasonable matter. In my many years of customer service experience, this method works about 95% of the time. Your composure and kindness in the face of emotional tirades will break the feedback loop the person is trying to create to fuel the conflict. After that, the bubble of their temporary madness pops and they calm down, or at least become powerless once they realize you're not going to play their game. What to do the other 5% of the time? Just ignore the unmanageable person's shouting, solve any actual problems they have, thank them, and send them on their way. And if the person keeps engaging with you, you'll have to call in backup, managers, co-workers, security if needed, and do everything in your power. Thanks so much for watching. In the comments under the video, write what cool psychological tricks you know, and don't forget to check out our other videos. Big hug. Bye.